Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we're doing the what's next on Rocky Hernandez, the now former world title challenger, as he fought on October 28th when he challenged O'Shaquie Foster for the WBC super featherweight title at 130 pounds. And came up short, dropping a 12th round TKO loss in a fight that he was winning on the scorecards. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So, back to Rocky and what happened. I mean, he was definitely winning the fight about 9 rounds in, and then you could tell he started to tire down. And then in the championship rounds, O'Shaquie Foster really started hitting him with some good shots, and he hurt him badly and put him down in the 11th, and it looked like he had him out of there. And Rocky Hernandez showed tremendous heart, landed a monster punch that backed off Foster and hurt Foster. And then it all came down to the 12th round, and the two just continued to slug it out and go for it. And Foster, I think he knew he needed a knockout, and he went for it, and he got it. And it was a dramatic ending, a good fight, and a lot of props to Rocky Hernandez for this kind of performance. I think a lot of people were looking at him, even though he was a mandatory challenger, as Foster wasn't going to have any trouble with him, and he was going to be just, cannon fodder kind of deal. Foster was going to run over him, and that just wasn't the case. He really did himself a great service. Threw himself in the serious mix here at 130. I got him in the top 10 now following that performance. He has to be in the top 10. You just have to rank him there. So let's run through the top 10 and see what's next for Rocky Hernandez following that loss. So we start with Emmanuel Navarrete, the reigning WBO champion. As much as I'd like to see that fight, Navarrete is just on a different level. Navarrete, if he beats Robson Conceição later this week, I think there's a good chance Navarrete is moving to 135 and going after titles there. So I just don't think he's going to entertain a guy coming off of a knockout loss like Hernandez. Then you got Oscar Valdez. Would love to see this kind of fight. Not sure Oscar wants an all-out war following 2 losses in the last 3 fights for him. But it would be good, maybe down the road, but I don't see it next. Joe Cordina, the reigning IBF champion. I just think Cordina has better options. He had to dig deep to beat Edward Vasquez, and I don't think he'd want to take a risk against a guy coming off a knockout loss to Foster. I just think Cordina has much better options like Foster in a unification, or better yet, an all-UK battle with Lee Wood. Creeping up, and he might even have a mandatory due. So I don't see Cordina and Hernandez. Then a rematch with WBC champion O'Shaquie Foster. I wouldn't completely rule this one out. I really wouldn't. I think it could be possible that these two guys come together again if Foster cannot get a showdown with Cordina or a bigger fight. But I could also see Foster entertaining Cordina's last opponent in Vasquez, since he did knock Hernandez out. I'm leaning towards the less likely for a rematch, but I'm not going to completely rule it out. Then there's WBA champion Hector Luis Garcia. I just think Hector Luis Garcia, the PBC, if Garcia beats Lamont Roach Jr. on November 25th, I think the PBC is going to keep Garcia loaded with PBC guys to fight. Shavkat Rakhimov. Rakhimov looks like he's going to go forward with an IBF final eliminator against Eduardo Nunez next, because I think he wants to lock up a rematch with Cordina next year. So I don't see this one. Then there's let me see. There's Robson Conceição in a showdown. Conceição's challenging Emmanuel Navarrete, and if he loses, I don't think he's going to entertain a fight with Hernandez. And if he upsets Navarrete, I don't think he entertains a shot with Hernandez next. I'm just not seeing it. Then there's Zelfa Barrett, a fight that I wouldn't be surprised. I think, I want to say Eddie Hearn would probably try to protect Zelfa Barrett a little bit more. But if they set it up to be some kind of an eliminator, I definitely think there'd be interest here for this fight. Lamont Roach Jr., if Lamont Roach pulls off the upset over Hector Luis Garcia and becomes the WBA champion, I could see Lamont Roach fighting Rocky Hernandez. I really could. I think it would make sense. Rocky Hernandez has been associated with Golden Boy, and Lamont Roach is with Golden Boy. I think, and DAZN, I think DAZN would get it done. I think it's very possible Lamont Roach could fight Rocky Hernandez. And then Roger Gutierrez, I'm going to throw him out there, a rematch with him. It depends on what Roger's doing, because I want to say I saw that Roger lost the fight this year, but maybe not. I know he lost last year to Hector Luis Garcia, and Roger did knock out Rocky Hernandez a few years ago in the first round. Maybe Rocky might want to get some get back for that. Maybe Roger would entertain it. We would see. Not sure either party would be interested, but I think it'd be interesting to make this fight, so maybe they would. And then there's the possibility of Kenichi Ogawa, the former IBF champion. Maybe he is associated with DAZN. He suffered a knockout loss to Cordina last year. Maybe he would entertain this fight with Rocky Hernandez. And then finally, a showdown with Edward Vasquez, who's coming off of a close loss to Joe Cordina by a close decision. These two guys might say fuck it and fight each other because they can't get somebody else to fight them. I think that's very possible. So Rocky Hernandez, as I said, did himself a service. I'm not sure he gets a title shot next, but at the very least, I think some of these guys might be willing to fight him to build off of him, or because they know if they look good against him after the way he looked against O'Shaquie Foster, that they can move into a title shot. So Rocky Hernandez, we'll see what he's going to do next, but I think he did very well, even though he suffered a technical knockout loss on October 28th against O'Shaquie Foster. So that's it. That's what I got. That's my what's next on former world title challenger Rocky Hernandez, following the 12th round TKO loss to O'Shaquie Foster on October 28th on DAZN. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.